Okay, let's unpack this. Think back, to your own learning journey. Remember those times feeling buried under textbooks or sitting through lectures where info just kind of washed over you, never really sticking? That struggle, right? To actually get the knowledge, move it from the page into your brain so it feels, well, permanent. It's a common thing, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. A real frustration for many.
Well, today we're diving deep into something really interesting, potentially a solution. It's a framework called KTMS, the Knowledge Transfer Management System.
That's right. And our source material for this comes from some fascinating research by Shiva Narayan Takshila Page. They focus specifically on this idea they call book-to-brain learnography.
Book-to-brain learnography. I like that.
Yeah, it's quite evocative. It's not just about tweaking how we teach. It's really rethinking how knowledge actually flows and, importantly, how it sticks.
So our mission here is to figure out how KTMS aims to optimize that flow, right? Taking info and making you genuinely well-informed. And they even talk about creating brain pages, like right in the classroom. That sounds pretty radical.
It does, but it's central to the whole idea. So KTMS, Knowledge Transfer Management System, the main goal, optimizing that book-to-brain knowledge transfer. It goes way beyond just, delivering content. It's about the actual journey into your memory.
And it's built on this concept of learnography. Big word, but it sounds like it's about the how of learning.
Exactly. Learnography zeroes in on self-directed learning, using your motor skills, engaging the brain's natural ways of processing things. So yeah, it's a big shift from just listening or trying to memorize facts by repeating them.
Right. It's about, what was the phrase? Interacting with knowledge through motor science, space-guided learning, and rehearsed practice. Very active stuff.
Very active. And this is where it really differs from, say, a standard learning management system, an LMS. Your typical LMS is mostly about content delivery and instructional logistics, right? Getting the materials out there,
Yeah.
managing assignments.
Yeah, managing the process. But KTMS seems focused on the learning itself.
Precisely. Traditional teaching often leans on, well, talking at people, right? Verbal instruction, rote memorization, pretty passive learning overall.
And the source points out that this often falls short. It doesn't really tap into the brain's full capacity for active learning, for deep understanding.
Right. You might have great teaching, great delivery, but the transfer isn't guaranteed. And there's a key quote here. Learning management system is not good, but teaching management is not bad in conventional education system.
Okay, so the teaching management part might be okay, but the learning management, or rather the knowledge transfer part, that's the weak link in traditional systems.
That's the core idea. It often neglects effective knowledge transfer. And KTMS aims to fix that specific problem. It sees the student not just as a receiver, but as the end user of knowledge transfer. Changes the whole dynamic.
Okay, so how does it actually work in practice? There's a cycle, right? A learnography cycle.
Yes, a 6-stage cycle. It provides a sort of blueprint for getting that knowledge embedded.
So stage one is acquire. Learners just study directly from the source materials, like the textbook.
Yep, starting with the source. But then critically, stage 2 is decode. This isn't just reading, it's actively breaking it down, analyzing meaning, building a visual or motor understanding, like mentally sketching it out.
Ah, okay. So you're forced to translate it somehow. Then what?
Then you encode. This is where the real hands-on stuff happens. Writing, drawing, diagramming, physically engaging with the material to record it.
Makes sense. Locking it in through action.
Exactly. And after encoding comes rehearsing. But these aren't just casual reviews. They're specific brain page rehearsal sessions.
Okay, brain page rehearsal. We'll need to unpack that more. But it's about strengthening those pathways.
Precisely. Making the connection stronger. Then comes apply.
Putting it to use.
Right. Demonstrating understanding through tasks, maybe explaining it to peers, seeing if it works in practice.
Okay, apply. And the last stage.
Reflect. This is interesting. It's about capturing deeper insights, maybe connections you didn't see at first. They call this dark knowledge.
Dark knowledge. Intriguing. We'll definitely circle back to that. But you mentioned brain pages earlier. What are they exactly? They sound central.
They really are. Think of a brain page as your personal internal map of that knowledge. A neural representation you build yourself.
So not just notes, but something more structured, more internal.
Kind of, and importantly, it's created in the classroom through these active methods, writing, drawing, structuring.
And the big payoff mentioned is less homework, because the deep work happens during school hours.
That's a huge practical benefit highlighted, yes. Brain page development within school hours significantly reduces the need for extensive homework.
I can see that being popular. And this ties into the motor engagement piece you mentioned.
Absolutely. Things like handwriting, drawing, even peer teaching, they activate motor and procedural memory circuits. It's not just cognitive, it's physical. This helps build autonomy, creativity. It really grounds the knowledge differently.
Okay, and there were those two books mentioned, the Spectrum book and the Matrix book, mother and father books.
Ah, yes. The Spectrum book, the mother book, is about nailing the concepts. Think glossary-based learning, foundational ideas. Clarity first.
Got it. Conceptual clarity. And the Matrix book?
The Matrix book or Father book is about application, procedural organization, so questions, problems, how to use the knowledge.
And using them together is key.
Yes, the research suggests using both significantly improved comprehension, analytical ability, and cross-topic transfer. It's a structured pairing.
Very systematic. Now, that rehearsal method, cyclizide rehearsal, TCR, that sounded unique.
It is philonic cyclizide rehearsal. It's about timing. You use very short, spaced rehearsal intervals. We're talking like 8 to 15 seconds each.
Just 8 to 15 seconds. How does that help?
Well, the idea is it syncs up with the brain's natural memory consolidation cycles, particularly in the hippocampus. You're essentially hitting save at the optimal moments when the brain is ready to consolidate that information more permanently.
So short, targeted bursts aligned with brain rhythms.
Exactly. And the claim is it significantly improves the retention half-life, or half, makes knowledge stick longer and easier to retrieve.
Fascinating. And this whole process is guided by 7 KT dimensions.
Right. These dimensions, like definition spectrum, function matrix, block solver, hippocampus, module builder, task formator, and dark knowledge, they act as a framework. They systematically activate and manage the learning networks of the brain, guiding you through the whole process.
It's incredibly structured. And underpinning all this is something called Zide science. How is that different from just teaching?
Good question. The research distinguishes it clearly from pedagogical teaching. Pedagogy is more the theory of teaching. Zide science, as they frame it, is about the practical engineering of learning transfer, the how-to of getting knowledge from the book into the brain effectively. It's where students directly apply this brain page theory. Less about teaching theory, more about direct learning mechanics.
So it's the applied science of knowledge transfer within this system.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so it sounds theoretically robust. But what about results? Does it actually work better?
Well, the research claims it provides measurable, repeatable, and student-centric outcomes. They're tracking effectiveness.
How? What are they measuring?
They use metrics like the brain page density index, BDI, basically, how well-formed the brain pages are. Also, the motor engagement quotient, MEQ, tracking that physical interaction, and the cyclizide compliance rate, CCR, for the rehearsal part.
So real data points.
Yes, providing real-time and actionable feedback. It's designed to be data-driven.
And the comparison, KTMS versus traditional methods.
The findings reported are quite strong. KTMS-based classrooms showed significantly higher brain page retention, problem-solving ability, and student independence compared to traditional lecture-based classrooms.
Higher retention, better problem solving, more independence. Those are significant claims.
They are. And it circles back to empowerment. KTMS positions students as active participants. It fosters autonomy, competence, and innovation. They even found it cultivates self-directed learning in very young kids, like 5 to 10 years old.
That's impressive, getting kids to own their learning early on.
It's a core principle. And this environment is where that dark knowledge concept really comes alive.
Right, the unexpected connections.
Exactly. Deep thinking, analogical reasoning, and unexpected connections between topics that go beyond subject book learning. It's not just knowing the facts, it's seeing the deeper patterns, the insights, a hallmark of higher-order understanding and innovation.
So the system doesn't just teach content, it tries to cultivate that kind of innovative thinking.
That's the idea, by encouraging reflection and active construction of knowledge.
And this obviously changes the classroom dynamic completely.
Absolutely. It shifts from a teacher-centered lecture hall to a learner-driven knowledge transfer space. They call them brainpage laboratories.
Brainpage laboratories, I like that image. And the teacher's role.
Also transforms from knowledge deliverers to knowledge facilitators and brainpage monitors. You're guiding, supporting peer learning, managing the KTMS process, but not dominating with lectures.
A big shift for educators too then. Is this adaptable? Can it work anywhere?
The research suggests it's highly scalable and adaptable across subjects, science, math, humanities, even vocational training, and across different settings, whether low-tech or high-tech. The core principles are adaptable.
Which leads to the bigger picture policy implications.
Yes, the argument is that KTMS presents a strong case for policy-level changes in educational governance, pushing for curricula to align more with these kinds of neuroscience-informed practices. It's framed as a scientific approach to learning transfer itself.
So wrapping this up, KTMS really presents itself as a fundamental shift, moving away from just passively receiving information towards actively creating these internal knowledge structures, these brain pages.
Exactly. Learning becomes a managed system of knowledge transfer, not just lesson delivery. It empowers the learner.
And that brings us to a really provocative thought. Imagine if brain page schools and self-learning classrooms became the standard.
Right. If we move beyond the talking classroom model,
To one where every student is truly an active knowledge creator. What does that do?
how might that change not just education for individuals, but maybe our collective intelligence,
Yeah.
our ability to solve big problems?
That's a huge question to ponder, a society of active knowledge creators.
It's a powerful vision.
And the source material doesn't just leave us with the vision. It includes a pretty direct call to action for different people involved in education.
Yes, it does. Very practical next steps.
For subject teachers and educators, it says, begin integrating KTMS. Start with the mother book and the father book. Design brain page modules.
And crucially, replace passive lectures with active and motor-coded rehearsal tasks. Small steps to start.
Then for school leaders, curriculum designers, adopt the KTMS framework. Develop brain page classrooms. Train your teams.
Create structured spaces for self-learning, peer teaching, and modular practice. Build the environment.
And for policymakers, education reformers.
The call is to champion KTMS as a scalable neuroscience-backed model for national curricula. Incorporate the principles of learnography. Think system-level change.
What about researchers?
For them, it's expand the body of evidence around KTMS. Explore its impact in diverse institutional settings. Keep testing and refining.
And finally, parents and guardians get a role too.
Yes. Encourage your children to engage in brain page making. Support self-study habits.
Appreciate the power of pencil work, spatial mapping, and knowledge rehearsal. Support the active process at home.
It really covers all the bases.
It does, and the final thought from the source really sums it up.
Embrace KTMS. Manage knowledge. Empower brains. Transform learning.